There are few things more painful in this world than hearing your child say, I want to come home, and knowing you simply can't make that happen. For some survivors, leaving domestic violence doesn't end the abuse. Instead, control continues through custody and extended family and attempts to damage the relationship between a protective parent and their child. So today's question comes from a member of the Survivor to Survivor community, and we're going to answer, how do I protect my child from being turned against me? This is Survivor to Survivor.
Survivor to survivor, break the silence. In the depths of silence, a voice emerges. A voice that says, you are not alone. Welcome to Survivor, where strength rises through shared stories, where pain transforms into resilience, where survivors connect and empower each other. Your story matters. Your voice matters. You matter. Join the movement. Subscribe now. Welcome to Survivor to Survivor.
Well, welcome back to another Friday edition of Survivor to Survivor. So we received an email that says, how, as a protective parent, do I keep the other family from brainwashing my children against me? They already have my older three turned against me. Now they're working on my youngest son, who is 9 years old. I believe he already has an established baseline that will help him resist the negative messages, but it cannot go on forever. He's already being punished for speaking up and asking me when he will come home. He was taken from me due to both breaking from the ongoing domestic violence situation, but he was directly given to the ringleaders of domestic violence who actively undermine me about everything, even whether he should have glasses or not. How do I protect him from all of this when I can't be there for him every day? Now, first I want to say my heart just absolutely breaks for you. I don't know that there is a deeper pain out there for a parent than hearing a child say, I want to come home, and you not being able to make that happen. I want you to hear something that I hope you can carry with you long after this episode is over. Just because your son is living in that environment does not mean you've lost him. You said something that stood out to me. You said, your son already has an established foundation. And I don't want you to underestimate that. Children don't remember words. They remember who made them feel safe. They remember who comforted them and when they were scared, or who listened to them when they had stories to tell, who celebrated their victories or loved them consistently. I mean, those memories don't simply disappear because someone is telling them a different story. Now, does that mean this isn't hurting him? Of course it is hurting him. Hearing that he is being punished simply for asking to come home is really heartbreaking. No child should ever feel like one parent, loving that one parent means betraying another, right? That's an emotional burden no 9-year-old should ever have to carry. So what do? Right? Every time you have an opportunity to talk to him or see him, become the safest place he knows to start. Don't spend that precious time trying to convince him that what everyone else is telling him is wrong. Spend time reminding him who you are. Tell him you never have to choose between me and loving somebody else. You never have to earn my love. I'm always going to be your mom, right? Those words are the ones that matter. Now, I want to talk to you about something practical because one thing in your email really concerned me. You mentioned that they're even questioning whether your son should have glasses. When disagreements begin evolving into child's health care or education or vision or emotional well-being, it's important to move from the emotional reaction, right? I don't know in particular what your custody order says, so I can't tell you exactly what kind of authority you have. But many parents still retain the ability to participate in medical decisions, even if they aren't the parent with the primary physical custody. So start by reading over your custody order carefully so you understand exactly what your rights are. If your custody order allows you to participate in these kinds of decisions, don't assume someone else has to make that appointment. You can schedule the eye exam. If glasses are prescribed, keep copies of the doctor's recommendations and any records that you can receive. If paying for the glasses becomes a concern, remember there are often community resources out there, schools, vision programs, nonprofits, other service organizations that can help children receive eye exams and glasses for little to no cost. If your son is prescribed glasses but isn't being allowed to wear them, or if you have concerns about other medical or educational needs, try to communicate those concerns in writing whenever possible, like through emails, instead of on the phone or in person. It will help keep your messages calm, keep them respectful, focus on your son's needs. For example, you can say, instead of writing, you're refusing to let him wear your glasses, right? You can try something like, I'm following up on the eye doctor's recommendation. Can you let me know whether he's wearing his glasses to school and at home? Or I'd appreciate a copy of the doctor's recommendation and an update on how his vision is being addressed. The goal isn't to win the argument, right? The goal is to create a factual record showing that you're consistently advocating for your son's well-being. If medical recommendations continue to get ignored or circumstances change in the future, you'll have documentation if you ever need to consult an attorney or return to court. Most importantly, don't let anyone convince you that because your son isn't living with you, that you're not his advocate. You may not control where he sleeps today, but you can continue fighting for his health, his education, his emotional well-being, and your relationship with him. I know you're carrying an incredible amount of heartbreak right now, but please don't mistake this chapter for the ending of your story. Children grow up. They begin to ask questions. They compare what they're told with what they actually experience. Many eventually start to recognize who loved them unconditionally and who expected them to carry the adult battles. So until then, just keep showing up, keep loving him, keep reminding him that you're not going anywhere because your relationship with your son is still being written. So, many protective parents out there are watching, struggling with their children who are being, influenced against them after leaving abuse. If you've walked this road, what helped you maintain your relationship with your child while protecting your own peace of mind? Your experience in the comments may be exactly what this parent needs to hear today. So please leave those. Also, if you do have a question you'd like me to answer in a future Survivor to Survivor episode, write us at podcast@breakthesilencedv.org. You will remain anonymous. Also, our supporter, we need your support. It helps Break the Silence continue providing education and advocacy and hope to other survivors and their families. So support us through the Walmart Spark Good Roundup program by visiting www.walmart.com/sparkgood. Search for Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence as your premier 501c3 of choice and round up your purchases to help another survivor. And until then, we'll see you next Friday on Survivor to Survivor.